Denver 8 TV, your city, your source.
This is kind of a special occasion, and I'd like to thank the mayor and Councilman Brooks and all the rest of the people of the city and all of you for coming out here. This has been a long project in the making. As you know, the last 2 to 3 years, there's been a multitude of residential developments, primarily rental developments, that have been built. They're beautiful. They're also very expensive. And what we're going to see here in the fall of 2006 is a development that's going to have 223 affordable rental units. There's going to be a 3-story building on the site where we are right now, and that'll be 28 units. And then there's the whole block over here between Park Avenue and 24th and Welton is going to have 195 units. These 190 or 223 units are going to bring about 350 residents to this neighborhood, and not only the Curtis or the Five Points neighborhood, but what I would refer to as the greater Five Points neighborhood, which would include the Central Business District, Arapahoe Square, Lodo, Rhino. This is a place where people have access to all the amenities of the rest of downtown. And the units, or the project, is going to provide kind of a unique opportunity to the residents that live here. And one of them is has to do with the location. There's really very few apartment developments around downtown where you have a park across the street, where you have light rail right outside, and the stop is less than a block away. You can walk to grocery. Safeway's about 3 blocks from here. It's just a wonderful location to be at. And if you want to jump on light rail, you can take in any of the venues, sporting venues downtown, or you can get out to Southeast Denver or Southwest. And perhaps one day these residents that are renting these units will decide that they're going to put some roots down in the neighborhood and buy one of the townhomes or condominiums that'll be coming up along the Welton corridor. This project took me a long time to get going, roughly 10 years. But after surviving the downturn and having hundreds of meetings with the city, tax credit investors, and so on, we were able to put together a partnership made up of the city of Denver, state of Colorado, the Denver Urban Renewal Authority, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and of course CHFA, the Colorado Housing Finance Authority, because it took all those people to raise the capital necessary to build a project like this. They're very difficult to do, and you need everyone and their brother to sort of contribute, make a contribution to make it happen. And with that, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Mayor Hancock, who can tell us a little bit about some of the, perhaps the objectives, or how we might be accomplishing some of his objectives here at this development.
Thank you. And Brent, today we stand on this site to celebrate the groundbreaking of your project, 223 affordable housing units. And you didn't have to do this. You did it because you wanted to do it. And I thank you for that. And we all recognize that if we're going to be successful in bringing affordable housing to our city, and we are in dire need for more affordable housing, we're going to accomplish it not just because we have to, but because we want to do it. And so thank you for leading the way and making an example for all of us in determining let's sacrifice and let's do what's right for our city. Join me once again in thanking Brent Schneider. I want to congratulate everyone who's been involved. And I was reading the history of this project last night, and indeed, it has been a long time coming. And we all now see the kind of heavy lifting that has to occur for us to be successful with the affordable housing projects here in our city. From Rick Garcia, who is one of our native sons and intricately knows about Denver and the challenges of affordable housing in our city, to Councilman Brooks, who constantly reminded me about Brent's project and that how transformative it would be in this area of town, and to Paul Washington. And if you look at the three successive projects from here and this site to the park and United Way, under his leadership, the Office of Economic Development has invested some $2.5 million or more. And so we're here because of people like you all and Tracy Winchester, who wouldn't let it die and who recognizes the real true opportunity that exists here, and they're helping us to really move toward the goal of becoming and being the city that we know we can be. And if we're going to be the great city that we believe we should and can be, then that means we must have a diversity in our communities. And a diversity in our community also means socioeconomic diversity. And so hats off to Brent and Century Development for these units. I know it will feature 2 and 3 bedroom units on this as part of this project, all of which is inviting to families. This really is a model project when it comes to what a transit-oriented development site should look like. As Brent pointed out, just a few steps away from the station where folks can get on the train and go to job opportunities throughout the region. And we also have the amenities that people desire, the parks, the entertainment, just a few blocks away. And you're living in one of the greatest neighborhoods in this great city, one of the most historic neighborhoods in our city. And so I'm excited. This project has a pretty healthy investment from the city's inclusionary housing fund, close to $1 million. Has been invested in this project. I want to celebrate Paul Washington and the Office of Economic Development. When Paul came into office, that fund had collected very few of the dollars that had been legally owed it by developers. Today, the fund is robust, and they have gone about the process of collecting the money so that we can, in turn, invest in projects like this one. And so, Paul, thank you very much for your leadership and your team's leadership. I want to close by again acknowledging Century Development and Brent Snyder, the Colorado Division of Housing members who are here. Thank you all very much. HUD, under leadership of our Regional Director, Administrator, Rick Garcia. Dura, I haven't seen Tracy Huggins here, but I'm sure they're somewhere lurking in spirit if they're not here. And of course to Chaffa, who's a valuable partner, and OED. We could not have done this without the leadership of our Denver City Council as well. And I want to acknowledge the presence of a couple people. First, Robin Kanish, who is a member of our City Council, a representative at large, and who is the most vocal advocate for affordable housing in the city of Denver. Thank you, Robin, for being here and for your support. I also want to acknowledge Rick Padilla, who is the Director of Housing for the city of Denver. There he is over there. Thank you, Rick, for being here as well. And here from Congresswoman Diana DeGette's office is Morris Price, who is our city director district director for the Congresswoman. Let me finish with this brief anecdote. About 3 years ago, I joined Councilman Brooks in doing a groundbreaking for a market rate project that was not too far from here. And he and I both talked about that day, this neighborhood, maintaining some of its spirit, some of its historic heritage, and the fact that I know a lot of people were concerned about being priced out of this community. The day after that groundbreaking, there was a picture in the Denver Post of a lady standing right there in the middle there, looking in at the press conference, and she happened to be an older African-American woman. And she had a look on her face as if, what is happening to us? We are losing our community. And I took that picture, and that picture sits under the glass of my desk as a reminder that we must never forget that just as important as these type of projects are in our city, that we must remember those are here, and the fact that we owe it to the whole community to maintain diverse levels of opportunities for folks to live in their community and to age in place. And one person who shared that story with me and never forgot it was Councilman Albus Brooks. And I told him that picture sits on my desk as a reminder of what our job is every day, to make these neighborhoods for everyone. And in fact, we are all Denver. And so without him, I can tell you these kind of projects would not be possible. And I'm proud to bring him up as a partner in helping to make this happen. Help us to welcome the Honorable Councilman Albus Brooks of District 9.
Come on, y'all. Let me see some smiles, some excitement. I had a couple things written down, but I was like, wait a second. For a project you've been working on for literally since the inception of us getting into office, there's nothing you have to write down. I remember Brent Schneider. It must have been September 2011. We had been in office about 2 months, and he brought me some renderings of what he wanted to do here. I was really excited to get the first project going off on Welton. If I would have known what I knew now, that would have been the 50th iteration of what was going on here, I would have said, wow, we got a lot of work to do. But when you think about these affordable projects, it takes incredible collaboration. And I think the mayor underlined that with all of our partners that's sitting in here today. And I would even say it takes too much. I mean, it is hard. It's almost impossible to get one of these things off the ground. And Brent did an incredible job. Tracy Winchester from the Five Points Business District toiled with us here. Robin Kanich held down City Council with me on this and said, yes, we will make sure that we have the City Council support. Obviously, we had the feds, we had the state, we had the city, and it was incredible. What folks need to realize today is that this is the largest affordable housing unit under construction in our city today. You can give a hand to that. And as the mayor was talking about, when you are excited about the economic times that are happening in your neighborhood, you're also, on the other side of the coin, worried about people keeping that affordability and being able to stay in this neighborhood. But we're happy to say today that these 223 units will remain affordable for the next 20 to 35 years. And so that is exciting, and they're going to be in one of the hottest neighborhoods in the city and county of Denver. I think lastly, what I just want to say is Brent's project, and if you were a part of looking at the different performers that he went through to complete this project, Brent's project underscores the importance for a sustainable, affordable housing fund for the city and county of Denver. And we need more help. We need more projects like Brent's, but we need more help from the city to help fund it. And so we as elected officials need to work on that. You as the city need to be open to recommendations that we put before you, but that's going to be the most important thing going forward. And today, we talked 4 years ago, there's not much in terms of investment on Welton. Today, over $200 million of redevelopment, smart development. You don't have neighbors with pitchforks over here. They're excited about the development that's going on. $200 million of smart development is happening on this corridor in the next 6 blocks for this year and next year. And so we're really excited. And Brent, well done in being a part of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilman Brooks. It's always a pleasure to work with you. I'd like to bring Rick Garcia up now. Tell us a little bit. He knows sort of the trials and tribulations I've been through as well. He was on city council when I made my first loan with the city, I believe, on this land. But anyway, come on up, Rick. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. Good to see everyone on a warm Denver afternoon, which is fine compared to the weather we've been having for the last couple of weeks. Well, we'll take it. Well, it looks like that's going to return here shortly. So, this neighborhood, I have dear memories. When I moved to Denver from Pueblo, Colorado. I'm not going to tell you how long ago that is, but I'm going to give you a hint in a moment. I lived on Glenarm Place, just a couple blocks from here. It was one of the first redevelopments that took place, and I remember quite vividly that late March, bringing home my first daughter from University Hospital, brand new baby girl, and today she's 28 years old. So this neighborhood has come a long way, and I really want to congratulate everyone who's had a role, not just in this project, but the entire work that's been taking place in the Five Points neighborhood. So let me acknowledge quickly a couple, more than a couple, but 3 folks that are here from the HUD multifamily office, because it's really those folks that are in the trenches day in and day out, working with 2300 Welton that became a household name in the multifamily division here at Region 8. So with us today are Elaine Chavez, Mark Fieldmeyer, and Dennis Thacker. Those folks stand up. Let's give them a round of applause. And it's indeed an honor for me to be here, and thank you for the invitation, Brett, because this is the kind of project that really HUD is about. This is the kind of work that HUD does, not only in Denver and in the state, but also around the nation. We want to ensure that new affordable housing is made available, new construction, and we also want to be keenly aware that we need to work to preserve housing that's already affordable to ensure that high quality, sustainable housing is available for individuals who choose to live in the city of Denver. I'm also reminded that about 4 years ago, HUD also made a modest investment through the state of Colorado in something called our Sustainable Challenge Grant Program. And the state put from that, like a little more than $1 million, put some of that $1 million into a revival plan for the Five Points neighborhood. There were 3 other rural parts of the state that received some of that funding. And I'd like to think that a little bit of that work that was done, and Tracy knows well about this work over the years, that neighborhood folks gathered in community to do charrettes and engagement to talk about the kind of development they wanted to support here in the Five Points community, that sustainable community investment that HUD made that number of years ago had a little bit of value in helping bring Brett's project forward. I also want to thank our friends of the state of Colorado, and let me acknowledge Allison George, who I understand today officially is the director of the Colorado Division of Housing. Allison, where are you? Right in front here. Congratulations for putting in over $1 million to this project. Of course, our friends of the city of Denver and Mayor Hancock and his team really focusing. I don't know, it was weekly getting calls from the Economic Development Office asking me what was happening with 2300 Welton. And so I know it was an important project for the city as well. Also our friends at Dora and of course our friends at Chafa that are involved with the tax credit portion of this. And Brett Snyder, and to you and your partners at Century Development, congratulations. If these kinds of projects were easy, everyone would be doing them. And we know that everyone is not doing them. But of course, we need to have more people doing these kinds of projects here in Denver and throughout the entire region. So with that, let me offer my congratulations again to Mayor Hancock for his affordable housing vision, his commitment in seeing this project through. It's an exciting day for HUD to be involved with helping to ensure over a $21 million loan to make this project happen. Thank you very much.
Paul, why don't you come on up? And your department has been so instrumental in helping me get this project into the end zone. I'd like to have you come up and share with the people here how it's helped your organization and the city.
Well, thank you, Brent. I'm going to be brief, but this was an extremely important project for us for a number of reasons. First and foremost, we wanted to make sure that we advance the mayor's priorities of affordable housing, and we wanted to make sure that we're smart about where we place affordable housing. As was mentioned, the proximity to transit, the proximity to the largest central business district in this region were extremely important for us from a policy perspective. We also wanted to make sure that we advance the redevelopment of Five Points neighborhood. The Welton corridor in particular is one of the most important corridors in the city for us to redevelop. And this was, I think, an anchor kind of project to make sure that that our work is done. And as the mayor mentioned, we've got investments, about $2.5 million within a football throw of where I stand now. We've got a number of other developments happening along Welton corridor, and some $200 million of projects are in the queue. And so 5 Points is really, I think, at a pivotal point. And our next work is going to be how we preserve the character and integrity of this neighborhood and the historical significance. And also we want to make sure that we have programs focused on the youth in and around this neighborhood. And so you'll see a lot more work in those two areas from the Office of Economic Development as well as from the Mayor's Office. So thank you, Brent, for what you do. You're a tremendous leader. You took a lot of risk, and this was a bold vision, and I'm really glad to be a very small part of it. Thank you.